Okay, good morning. Tell me your name.
Bill Rosa.
Karen Rosa.
In the back?
Jeff Nasing.
Dave Flipper.
Kim Clark.
Pete Rosa.
Emma Rosa.
Kyle Rosa.
Lori Harris.
Ken Sadowski.
Kim Calderhouse. Elizabeth Adams, and I'm with the Leelanau Historical Society.
All right, thanks. And this is Stacy Longwell Sadowski. And we are heading out of the harbor now. In August 2024, we headed by boat from Leland, Michigan to the west side of North Manitou Island, to the former site of the village of Crescent. For the first time, Billy and Karen Rosa and family were visiting where Billy's grandmother Esther lived as a child, and Billy's great-grandfather A.J. White ran the sawmill in the village. Now in wilderness, there is little evidence of the once bustling lumber town. Our goal was to find the home site, the lumber skidway, and the sawmill site.
I think that's a piling right there, right?
Yeah.
That could be piling.
That's a piling?
Yeah, I put it in.
The water was high last time I was out here. You couldn't see any of that, really.
And that mound that's right there on the other side is where AJ's house was.
Oh,
Okay.
that right there?
This mound here.
Okay.
You see where it's low on both sides?
Hang on a second.
Whose dry bag is right here? Start with the dock here, and then I don't know,
Okay.
do we want to walk the beach a little bit and find...
And you, Stacy, you said you hadn't found any of the, abutment stuff, any foundation stuff for. Bring up, this one I want to see. Maybe, right. You need to evaluate and tell me I'm wrong.
You think this is the house location?
I do. Well, along with what it's telling me over here, because that's all leveled out. There's no big trees in it. There's no trees growing in it. That, you know, and then when you come up here, this has got the you'd be looking at the dock because it runs on quite a bias. But I'm telling you that those logs right there are that up on this skidway. The rest of them maybe would have been there, other than the fact that the bank is ate out.
Yep.
Kim, do you use trees? And beside it was an area that nothing has hardly grown in it. You know, and the big trees are gone, and that's exactly where this is.
That's amazing. You did just like you said you were going to do. You said, I'll come out there and I'll know right where stuff was.
Well, no, not necessally, but I'm
got
just
it.
envisioning where stuff is growing and where it ain't.
Absolutely.
And what this thing is, and that's what that is. You know.
And that's where the house was, right
Kyle,
there.
You want to know why? One of the reasons why that hump is probably there in this grass. They've drug up pretty good soil maybe, and as they pulled the logs, it dispersed a bunch of stuff there and it built that up. You think?
Yeah.
That's why that's like it is.
Probably.
You see where the highest part of the hill is and then it drops off.
Yep.
On that picture I was showing you.
Yeah.
There, it's taken from over there, looking at the mill, but you can see, I think you can see that in the background. And you got to envision where mill might be to be able to see that. Could be a lot of places.
Yeah.
But by and large, though, if we can see here, get that high ground, and then see what there is on the back side of that before you get over to where the main street would be. Because there's stuff in between there, I think.
Yeah, there is. And you can
Yeah,
see
that's
right
all-
here,
That's all wet.
that's the wetland.
Yeah.
And see those two apple trees side by side right there?
Right,
Just beyond that over to the right was where the house site was, where we just were a few
Yeah,
minutes
right.
ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm thinking the mill's like over
well,
that way.
It's quite a ways. It's got to be quite a ways.
Okay.
Quite a ways because the pond would have been out into there some.
Yeah.
A ways, and it would have been back this way of where straight down from the house. I want to say no, it would have been the mill pond and the mill. If you was to look out Grandma's house, it would have been that way. It would have been south, looking at anything out her door. I know it would be.
Okay.
I'm sure.
The echo. This, little valley here.
Created an echo.
Well,
Yeah.
you can just imagine too when the sawmill is operating, if just your voice can create an echo like that, all that
Yeah.
equipment running in here.
Can you imagine all the stuff that's going on? I can't hard to imagine. Boy, this is great.
This
I can't
is
thank
great.
you enough for putting this together to be able to make this work. Man, oh man. This is beyond words. Yeah, and to be able to have the kids come and boy. Man, that climb back there was one of the
To
best
walk
things.
in our ancestors' shoes in our area.
Okay, now we're going to look at this one here of the mill right here. Well,
I'll turn for you.
come on, tip. Oh, there we go. Okay, now, a couple things I want you to see. Number one, the mill pond is right there. That's the mill pond. And I think out from in front of the house, it wasn't in front of the house. The house was back up here on the bank. The house was up here. Train had to come in and went down alongside. But as you look back where the mill is, it's all wet. And this is in the spring, I'd say. Because that's why they've got all water everywhere. Because you see, there ain't water in it now. There's water here, and there's water clear around, I want to say, on the back side. This piece of high ground. But if you look real close, we've got some brush in a bunch of low area. See the barn over there?
Yep.
Barn, that's the south end of Main Street. Now here's another one. I'm going to show you another one. But I think just a minute here. This is the other one. This is the other one where, come on, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Okay, this is the other one where it's taken on a little bit more of a bias. And you see the barn is right beside that stack. You see the top of the barn right there?
Yep.
Okay, and yet when you turn it a little bit and get it square, the barn's clear down here on the, so Main Street is beyond that bunch of low area. That's on the other side of that.
Okay.
After the high ground where the hotel is and all of this stuff, but you're still looking at that big bank back there.
Back there. Yep.
Way back
Okay.
there, kind of thing. Now, if you notice, there's a dip in the high line there, in the top
Let's see
there,
now. Yeah.
that you might be able to see a little bit. But I'd like to be able to try to get out in the middle of here to some degree, and see if we could find where the cement works are, and like I say, and then towards the woods, there's a low area, and then Main Street's on the back side of that. Looking at this,
Okay.
is a little bit of kind of what I think we'd like to try to do. So.
Pretty green.
Okay, so
Well, they wouldn't have used, they wouldn't have poured any more cement than they had. That's why all the buildings would have been on post and stuff. You wouldn't. The only thing I could think of is a cistern for water, and why maybe right there. Other than the fact that you're not very far from water, they could have had a pitcher pump and had water for horses or something there. I don't know. That had to be a something there. I don't know why. Well, now the only
yep.
boy, I guess I'm not sure. That's quite a cavity. But and you wouldn't had if it's up around the camps, you would have had a lot of cans that would have been in a pocket that would have rotted, maybe, and would have made a hole. But here at the mill, it had to be something else relative to water. Well, it looks like that's in the ground over there, isn't it? Yeah, right there. That's in the ground. That had to be a water source or something. I'll bet. Man, this is fun. Well, there's more than just them two, and there's the flat piece of cement.
Flat pieces are just on the other side that way.
Okay, because that's where one of the engines sat. Because I've got them 27 pictures, and you can see them. It's all open here.
Yeah.
You can see them standing in the open.
Get over here and take a picture, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta take pictures by that big tree.
Oh, my word. That's one they didn't cut down, huh?
Well, it would have been too small. Like the boy said it was too small, so they didn't cut it.
Who was it that was in the photograph that we?
Grandma.
Grandma?
With this?
Yeah.
Grandma is.
Okay.
Yeah, with one of them.
So if you can stand where Grandma was standing, we can get your picture from the same perspective.
There was four big boilers, and I'm sure that would have been took this kind of thing to support all that. They wouldn't have sat on the ground because the firebox is on the bottom, and so that couldn't have been. And my understanding was they had to bring those boilers overland from the east side because the dock wasn't situated where they could get them in yet. So they brought them clear over from there. But that one picture I got that shows feeding the boiler, they're huge. And of course your fire is on the bottom of the boiler. Wow. But there's more of these. I'm going to look at my phone here right now, and we'll look, and I'll show you what that looks like in 1927, with that being bare here, and maybe it'll show us how many there are of them. I think I got.
So the mill was a large building, and the boiler area was attached to it. So does that mean the rest of the building would have been that direction,
I have no
or?
idea.
Okay.
Really not sure. But there was more than one building, more than one mill. There was a mill dart.
Yeah.
And when you look at on the back side of the mill, that one picture that I've got, you can see. Oh, here, you can see how many different parts of the mill part there is.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's a picture of that right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now it shows two there, but I'm satisfied there's probably more than that, but I don't know that. If Vince says that our foundation is over here,
Okay.
this is backwards. This needs to be over like that.
Okay.
Is where that is. But we need to find that and see if there's any more of these.
Find the foundation and look and see if there's more.
Yeah, I'd like to, and you can see here. Okay, let me see here. When you're looking at this now,
Mm-hmm.
when you're looking at that, you can see the skyline.
Mm-hmm.
You see that drop in the trees,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see that we've got that's all open. That's all open. I'm not sure. I'd see this right now. We're looking. This picture is taken looking back here at the woods where that big woods is.
Sure.
That's
Yep.
taken back there. That's why the cement's over there, and why the tree line is like that. From a wagon, it's called a skein.
this piece of metal on top here?
Yep, that's a skein. Your wheel would go on this outside. You see, it's got a nut on it.
Oh yeah.
But your wagon wheel would go on the outside. But that piece there is called a skein.
You got this, more brick. You got these too. These are big ones.
Watch your step on around
Okay, there we go.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're standing on one. And
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that.
And this was
a pit. This was a
brick right
yeah. This was a pit of some sort. For
How you
some
guys
reason.
doing?
What? Wonder what
have
it
water?
was. Nice. Well,
Yeah, you can see the metal spike coming out of the top of them.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you take a picture of me and Em?
Kinda. Through the trees. Oh yeah. Holy moly.
So what do you think of this, Billy?
man, oh man. Yeah,
We'll
this.
take pictures.
No.
So what do you
We
think?
ain't gonna be there.
Yeah. That I'm not sure if when they're
Three
standing
big
on that, they're standing on that, and you can only see the one of them. I swear, and
Well,
my
there's another
pictures.
one, Billy.
What's that?
Exactly to your
Yeah.
right.
There's these two.
Yes, those two.
Yeah. But I.
Is that a big bolt coming out of that?
What's that? Oh no, them are bolts. Yeah. Well, that's what was holding the engine down. When you look on that,
What
look
else
on
are
that.
you looking for?
No, I'm looking on that foundation. I don't think I. Well, yeah, I do too.
Has to.
You gotta take a look at this foundation.
Okay.
See that
Yeah.
foundation, and that's those,
right
that's
here.
those
Oh, yeah.
right there.
They're standing on one of
yeah,
these
see
off
those.
the
Stand on one of these right here.
And right now
Okay.
we're looking to the south here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you can see the high ground up here. See that ridge line up there? See, we're looking right, looking okay, and they're standing on these.
I'll be damned. They're
Because you
standing
can
right
see
on
the
that
bolts.
thing right there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and you can only kind of see the one. I think because there's the other one must be behind it.
Well, you can kind of see a little
Oh,
bit
you can
on
see
the
the other.
edge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both right there.
Right, now that we see what it
And
is,
it
that
don't-
makes more
don't-
sense.
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
show
for
that.
sure.
Yeah. So that's what they're, and you see how open that is?
Yeah.
Look at
There
there.
ain't nothing.
That's all open.
You guys look this way.
You see?
Because this is all would have been at the back of the woods.
Been down in here,
I think, huh?
down in here. What is that? Front Street would have been, or I mean the houses would have been.
No, they was up behind. Houses were up behind.
Vince, is there a road up there?
Well, the main street is up the hill.
Oh.
Up the
okay,
hill.
I was going to say, because we got big trees in here. How far into that?
Well, there's a clearing.
And that
Probably 100 feet.
oh, no, yeah, we better look at that.
So what is this, Billy?
Yeah, what do you think this is then? What is this?
Yeah.
It was a blower. It's a blower because that's got a fan in there. That's got a fan, and this is a piece of pipe. And that, you see how that's rounded?
Yeah.
That's got a fan. That's fan in there.
Oh.
It probably blue sawdust. You know, blue sawdust from the mill. I want to say that's what that is. Because you can see the fan blades in it.
Yeah, now that you say it, I can. Yep. Look at that.
tell me what you thought of today.
Well, I can tell you the day was really great. This is what I've been wanting to do forever. Make it whatever come to me with you and Kim and everybody. Boy, it turned out to be just a great day. This is beyond belief. It makes the book become so much bigger now. Oh, yeah, really appreciate it. This is great. Couldn't be better.
So tell me about the first time you went to North Manitou Island to the Crescent village site.
Well, so when Kim had said that they were going to try to put together a boat trip for us, why we couldn't hardly believe it, because we didn't know with the other boat not running and being able to get over there, and it would have been awkward for us to try to think we were going to get across the 10 miles of 5 over and 5 back and think we're going to make all that happen. And we couldn't take no vehicles. We tried to figure out, well, we needed to do it by boat or come by helicopter or do something to get to the other side. Well, then when Kim was able to put that together and the group up there, that maybe would work, boy, we were just ecstatic to think that maybe that we could be able to do that. And then when she called and said, well, we got to figure out a date with the Grosvenors people there. I guess that's what we're calling them yet, even though it's was it Jimmy and whatever. I know he isn't one, but anyway, with the boat people, they've got boats that we're able to do that in and get up to shore if it's not too rough. So then, boy, we were all tickled to think we was going to be able to do that. Man, that talk about a number one on the bucket list. That was it for us. And so it worked out good. Wanted to find out if we could take the kids specifically to be able to go, so they could be a part of it. And boy, that was really good, because they've been behind us with all of this. All of our family is. The other cousins, all the other people have been wondering when we're going to get this done, and they're all because there's a bunch of us. There's a bunch of other aunts and uncles, a few, not a lot, but then their kids. There's a whole lot of people that we're trying to make sure we got stuff put together, and what do we need to have, and so anyway, that worked out to do. So then when it come D-Day to be able to do that, why that really worked good to be able to go across and see the crib, and because Grandma always spoke of the crib, and it wasn't, and I don't mean this awkward, but when the crib was up for sale, I thought, oh my gosh, if we could have owned that and could have named it, and everybody could have seen it, could have been able to come and go, but it worked out good because we didn't need to own it, and it's still the thing. But my grandmother would have been some damn tickled that she wouldn't have known what to do, to think that because think how many times she's seen all that, well, of course the crib wasn't there till when? That was on into years. The lake boat was out there for years. I'm not remembering exactly that. I'm losing that when that was. But anyway, so and then coming to the island and to realize how long it is and how much area there is, because I know it's about 12,000 acres, and putting everything together, we're going over all kind of info and stuff that I should try to remember, all the things that I should remember and some I don't, but so, and then we finally get over to where we're at, and we're able to look at stuff, and I can see the one piling above the water. There's only one piling above the water that's still there, if I'm remembering right, and yet I know all the rest of it's there because I'm the one that put it in the book from looking at it from Global Earth, or what was that? What you call it?
Google Earth.
Google Earth, Global Earth, whatever. And I don't mean that smart, but if you hadn't looked at that specifically for that, there's probably a lot of people maybe would have found it and realized that was still there. But unless you look right at it, you think, oh my gosh, that dock, you can see pretty near every foot of that thing that's under there, and will be there for quite a little while yet. It'll gradually deteriorate underwater, but boy, it'll be a long time. But there's only the one, and then to have pictures through the years from 27, from the beginning to 27 to 37 to when we were out there, and what Grandma had in 76, and then we're out there a year ago. To think that we could see all that, and then to get a stand on shore and look at that as we were coming in with the boat, and to try to imagine we're maneuvering a little boat around that's got power, and we're kind of trying to fit with what we're doing, and they were working with at the end of that 600-foot dock, coming in with the sailboats, and some with a lot with power on into time, and sails, and they're trying to come in, and you look at that right from the beginning, and you look on shore, and I can see all the piles of lumber off on the right hand side of where the dock was, and I can see where the stacks are, because I know where they are in the picture. I know where the house ought to be. I know where a lot of that should be, because I've looked at the pictures so much. And I can put near walk up to whatever I need to find, and to think how was I able to do all that? Elmer's Crane wasn't there to set the big stacks, and all the 4 boilers had to come from the east side of the island by horse and wagon, because they couldn't bring them around. The dock wasn't done evidently at the time enough for them to bring the boilers over. So them come from the east side, all them big boilers that you see in the picture, and there was 4 of them. And all that stuff had to be manual labor. But if you notice, there isn't one picture in that book that you will see any of them people that there's one person that's overweight. Not a person. They all ate good. They all ate more than we all do. But there wasn't a person that was overweight. Somebody needs to show that person to me if they can find it. And the more we looked, and to think that all this went on, and there's nothing but the wind blowing, and the waves are rolling a little bit, and the sand's blowing, and I can walk up on top and see where stuff had to be, and there's nothing but grass and trees and stuff that's growing up that would have been bare, even back in 27 like we seen, and to think that all this went on, and it's hard to imagine. You just can't hardly fathom. But the more we went, then I knew that I had to find what I was looking for, and I kind of knew where I need to look a little bit with stuff, and I think you'll find that we did find the place where the house was. We kind of went right there. Now, our son Pete was over there hiking the year or 2 before, and they thought they had found where that was. Well, that wasn't it at all. That was down to the north farther when we left that site and went to the north, where we walked out to the beach when we come back from around. That was where Pete thought that was. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many people that had ever been over there with people coming and going ever realized that that's where that was where the house was. I don't know if there was many people that did, kind of thing. There may have been, but to find that, and once we could see that, then to find the skidway, and you look, and it's still there. It's 8 out down below where the logs were. They skidded the logs up, and I'm not sure how many pictures that anybody has of that skidway and what went on with that log rollaway of when they did that log in the last couple of years of doing that kind of thing, and bringing that up to the mill pond with that big old log loader that they had there. And then it was really great to find, to look close and know what, and to find those logs still in the ground up where it was dry ground. Those cedar hadn't rotted away yet, and they were there. They were right there where they, and I know that's what it was, because there was a couple that was in between. We scraped that off a little and found that. So that was right there where that was. And then when we started kicking around and went over by where ultimately we see the mill was, and where it was all growed up that we walked through, that was where the hotel and that stuff had to be before we went around to the end and around the wet area there and was up on the road. And when you look through the pictures, you can see the barn and some of the buildings way past the mill, and if depending on what angle, and I think that the town was down a little farther to the north than what we started out thinking it was, especially a little bit when the school was clear down there where that ravine was that we found, and you would have had to back up to the south with everything from there because the school was right on that end, and that other road that went on down to the west a little bit, and so all of that was interesting to find, and I just wish I had another 4 or 6 hours to be over there and do some more scouting around. If there's any way we could gather up 20 cents and put that together, I'd go back there in a heartbeat and take some of you, and we'd go and do some more. Look, everybody needs to look at the pictures as much as we did for a while, and then the minute you get over there, you can put this with that and think, well, wait a minute, look at the tree line in the back, over above back where town was, because when you're looking at the mill looking to the north, kind of a little bit more north than northwest, you can see the tree line, and the tree line is the same today. So if you look at that and evaluate where those pieces of buildings were over there with the old barns started down to the south, and then as the town got to the northerly there a little bit, you can see where all that is, and to find out that. But I know that we were on that main street. We were on that because there was a part of an old basement, and it was cleared enough that there was not a lot of stuff growing, and where that ravine come up through there, and that picture that we've got, that had to be out in front of the post office and along in there, the store. That's about where that had to be, and you look at that, and there's no question in my mind that we kind of got situated. And to think that you're walking that street. My grandmother had walked and run to school, and all the horses and buggies, and Mrs. Swanson and Eva back and forth up with the buggy, and all over seeing what's going on, and the provisions coming off of the boat that had to go to the store and had to be taken up there via horse and wagon and whatever. If you could jump back in time, I wish you would be able to do that, because that would be so interesting to be able to do it. So other than that, I'm not sure what else we need to add, and I'm not sure if I did what you needed to do, kind of thing.
Why don't you hold the book up?
I kind of jumped around a lot there, but
this is a result of all that history.
This is the book that we had got done with a lot of help from a lot of people and a lot of pictures and museum people, Dave Tehoon, Kim Kilderhouse, a book from Dave Hobie, and Susan Wasserman, history stuff that we passed back and forth, and without everybody's help, you couldn't make what we think was quite an addition to the history of North Manitou Island. And here's the back. There's about 186 pages and about 300 photographs in this book, and we try to tell a little bit about the pictures. So a little bit of it's repetitious with different pictures of the sawmill, but when you look at them from different angles, north to south and east to west a little bit, to try to pinpoint kind of what stuff is, you can see different things that are going on within the photos. And the same thing happens when you look beyond the photo to see the town, the main street in the background, way in the back, and you look and you can see that that's a barn, and this is part of Main Street, and different pictures of what went on in the town people, what the kids and the people, and we've got quite a lot of pictures of town and people's names, which we think is kind of unique, which a lot of books don't have. and names of people with the mill, and whether they were the log people logging, whether they were railroad people, whether they were people that worked on the docks, everything. A lot of the names were the keys with what helped make it work. So we're pretty proud of this and hope that there's a lot of people that like the history of Leelanau County and our counties here in general, and the amount of story that we had to tell, because it was lived and it was saved by our family, and those two things put together, along with some help from other people, it's pretty hard not to come up with quite a lot of information and a lot of history that's informative to people. We'd like to think.
All right, well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time today.